أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Lesson number 89, Surah Al-Araf. We'll begin from ayah number 26. Ya bani Adam, O children of Adam, قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا, we have bestowed upon you clothing. Why? يُوَارِي سَوْآتِكُمْ وَرِيشًا, to conceal your private parts and also as an adornment. وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى, but the clothing of righteousness. ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ, that is best. ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ, that is of the signs of Allah. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ, perhaps they will remember. Over here, all people are being addressed. Ya bani Adam, O children of Adam. And we're being reminded that we are the children of Adam a.s., whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created by His own hands, whom He placed in Jannah, whom He gave the clothing of Jannah. That, O children of Adam, قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا, we have sent down upon you clothing. What does it mean by this, that we have sent down upon you clothing? First of all, this is understood as that the command of wearing clothes has come to you from who? From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just as Allah sent down many commands, similarly, He has also sent down the command of clothing yourself. It's a divine command. It's a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, clothing oneself appropriately is in reality fulfilling the command of Allah. And unclothing oneself, not clothing oneself appropriately, is going against the command of Allah. Because Allah says, قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا. It is also said that what it means by قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا is that we have sent down the means of your clothing. From where? From above. How? If you look at it, clothing is made of what? Material. Where does that material come from? Cotton, silk, etc. How does that grow? From the earth. When? When it's given water. Where does the water come from? From the sky, in the form of rain. So قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ, meaning we have provided you with the means of fulfilling your need of clothing yourself. That Allah sent down the rain, and from the produce of the earth, clothes have been made. He has sent down clothing for you. Now, the word libas is from the root letters lam, ba, sin. And libas is everything that is worn. What is it? Everything that is worn. Whether it is something that is worn in the winter or in the summer, whether it is something that is worn at home, in times of peace, or in the middle of a battle, by a man or a woman. But what's the main purpose of libas? That it covers and protects the body, as well as it beautifies the body. So what does libas do? It covers, protects, and beautifies the body. So, قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا. And what's the objective of libas? What's the purpose of libas? First of all, يُوَارِي سَوْآتِكُمْ, it covers your private parts. Yuwari is from the root letters waw, ra, ya. Ma wuriya, we learned earlier. Wuriya, it was hidden. Yuwari, it hides, it covers. What does it cover? Sawatikum. Sawat, plural of sawa. And what does the word sawa mean? Private part. Or anything that must not be exposed. Exposing it is shameful. Whether it is a dead body, or it is a private part of a person, or it is any other part of the body whose exposing is not appropriate. It is shameful. Because sometimes we will go to the extent of saying that it's only the private parts that a person should conceal. And that's it. That's the only satr. That's the only awrah. And beyond that, it's up to you, whatever you want to expose. Whether you're wearing a very low neck, or a dress in which your entire back is being shown, or that all of your arms are being shown, or your legs are being shown, it's okay. No big deal. Because as long as your private parts are covered, that's it. No. Sawat, yes, it refers to private parts, but it refers to every part of the body that must be covered. And exposing it is shameful. It is indecent. It is indecent to expose it. It is indecent to display it. So, the purpose, the objective of clothing is that it must cover the body. And this is the primary, this is the most important function of clothing. And if a piece of clothing does not fulfill this purpose, then it's not a proper libas. It is incomplete libas. Libas is that which covers the body, and that's the objective. It must cover the body. Therefore, the scholars have said that clothing should meet 3 conditions. Libas must meet 3 conditions. And what are they? That first of all, it should not be too short. It should not be scanty. It should not be too short. Rather, it should be big enough that a person's private parts as well as the rest of the body that should be covered is covered before others. So basically, their awrah should be covered. There is a difference of opinion with regards to what is the minimum that must be covered before people. For men, definitely, it is from the navel to the knee. No difference of opinion with regards to that. From the navel to the knee, which means that shorts that are above the knees are not appropriate. It's from the navel to the knee. It should be covered before other men as well. Do you understand? So if there are people in the locker rooms changing, they should make sure that their awrah is not exposed even before other men. For men, before men is how much? From the navel to the knee. For the women, some scholars do say, again, before other women, it's from the navel to the knee. Why? Because if a woman is breastfeeding, it is difficult for her to keep herself covered all the time. This is an opinion. So, for example, if a woman is breastfeeding, and if a part of her chest is exposed before other women, it's not unlawful. It's not forbidden. But according to others, they say that, okay, yes, that is because of a need. But generally, a woman should not dress up in a way that her parts of the body that should be covered before others are being exposed unnecessarily. Therefore, she should wear such clothing which covers her chest, which covers her stomach, which covers her back as well, and it covers her down to at least below her knees. At least below her knees. So for instance, if a woman is wearing a dress or she's wearing a skirt, and if she's sitting before another woman and a part of her leg just above the ankle, a little bit is exposed, it's okay. But she shouldn't lift it up above her knees and sit down before people. Or she shouldn't wear a dress that is too short, that is above the knees. It should be definitely below the knees. So first of all, and obviously this is women before women and men before men. How a woman should dress up before a man, inshallah we will learn about that as well. So first of all, it should not be too short. Secondly, it should not be transparent. The clothing should not be transparent. It should not be translucent, such that even through the clothing, a person's body is being exposed. Sometimes women wear such hijabs through which their ear is being shown, through which the neck can be seen, through which even if they're wearing a niqab, their lips can be seen. So it's not just with hijab, but the rest of the clothing as well, that it should not be see-through, that the body can be seen even through the clothes. It should be thick enough that the body is covered. It's not transparent, it's not see-through. And thirdly, it must not be too tight, such that it reveals, it exposes the body. And in fact, today what happens? If people are wearing particular types of clothes, it'll in fact shape the body, because it's so tight that a woman's, for example, her legs will fit into those particular trousers, into those skinny jeans, so that her legs become a certain shape, so that her legs, they're shown in a particular way, and in fact they beautify the body even more. They expose the body even more. So, what's the third condition? That it must not be too tight, that shapes the body, and that it reveals the body parts. It should not be that tight, that it reveals the body parts. So for example, if a person is wearing skinnies, then is that appropriate? It's not appropriate. Why? Because it is as good as though she's wearing nothing. It's just a garment that is wrapped around the body and that's it. It's as good as paint on the body. Literally. So it should be such clothing that hides the body, that covers the body, that does not expose the body, that does not reveal the body. So, yuwari sawatikum. This is the first objective. This is the primary objective. That the clothing must not be too short, it should not be too transparent, and it should not be too tight. That a person is wearing clothes, but still he is naked. Or she is naked. No. It should cover the body. Warishan. And also adornment. Meaning, the clothing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded you to wear is also a means of adorning yourself. Rish, it is said that it's the plural of risha. Just put a ta marbuta at the end. And the word risha is the feather of a bird. What is it? The feather of a bird. If you look at it, feathers, and for animals, their fur, what does it do? It is a means of beautifying the bird. It adorns the bird and the animal. Have you ever seen a plucked hen? Or a bird whose feathers are removed? Or a sheep whose wool has been taken off? How does it look? Naked. And it doesn't look that beautiful either. Isn't it? Same bird with colorful wings. With beautiful wings. Doesn't it look so beautiful? Looks amazing. And if you remove those wings, it's not going to look that beautiful anymore. So risha is the feather of a bird. And what's the objective of the feathers? That they don't just cover the bird, but they also beautify the bird. The word rish is used for zina. It is used for adornment. Materials for ornamentation, for beautification. And the word rish is also used for wealth. Why? Because wealth, what does it show? Beauty, right? Or through wealth, what does a person gain? What does a person obtain? Beautification. For example, if a person does not have that much money, will they be able to afford nice, beautiful, colorful clothes? No. If a person has money, then he is able to buy ornament for himself. So basically, rish is a source of elegance, a source of beautification, as well as protection. As well as protection. It is said that the Prophet ﷺ used to say, Alhamdulillahi alladhi razaqani min al-riyashi. That all praises to Allah who provided me with riyashi. Ma atajammalu bihi fin nas, through which I adorn myself amongst people. Wa uwari bihi awrati, and through which I cover my awrah. So you understand? Riyash, clothing. What do? They beautify a person, and at the same time, they also cover a person. So, warishan as well as rishan. What does it mean by this? How do we connect this word with the first part of the ayah? That first of all, وَأَنزَلْنَا رِيشًا. This is connected with أنزلنا. That ya bani Adam, that O children of Adam, we have sent down to you what? Libasan. And we have also sent down to you what? Rishan. Allah has created the means for you to clothe yourself and also the means to beautify yourself. We have created the means through which you can beautify yourself. Through which you can adorn yourself. And this is what clothing does. It beautifies a person. Secondly, it is said that warishan, this is connected with libasan. That the first objective of libasan is yuwari sawatikum. And the second objective of libasan is rishan. It beautifies you. It adorns you. So it is a means of adornment for you. And this is the second objective of clothing. And you see, clothing is actually what beautifies a person. Because the human body, it does not have any feathers, any fur. If you look at a bird, it has beautiful feathers. If you look at an animal, it has a nice coat of fur on it. But the human body does not have anything like that. It's just plain. That's it. So, what is it that actually beautifies a person, that makes him attractive, that makes her beautiful? It's the clothes that she puts on. Isn't it so? Because the body in itself does not have different shades of color. It's just plain. So when a person puts on clothing, that is what adorns a body. And as we discussed earlier, that a bird without feathers is ugly. It's not that beautiful. Similarly, a human being without clothes is also not beautiful. What beautifies a person is wearing clothes. Then it is also said that warishan, what this means is that Allah has commanded us to wear clothing which is such that it adds beauty and ornamentation to the person. And basically it is such clothing that doesn't just cover your body, but it also beautifies your body. And it also demonstrates a person's wealth. Because only if a person can afford, then he will be able to buy nice clothes, beautiful clothes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this all to you. And when He's given this to you, what should you do? Not wear clothes? Or wear inappropriate clothes? Wear such clothes that don't fit you? That are too small, that are too tight? In which you're so uncomfortable that you can barely breathe? You can barely walk? Or that you can't wait to change? You can't wait to get out of those clothes? No. If Allah has given you this blessing, take advantage of it. Beautify yourself by wearing clothes, not taking your clothes off. Because if you take your clothes off, you're not going to look that beautiful. Allah has given you this blessing, take advantage of this blessing. وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى, and the garment, the clothing of piety, of righteousness. ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ, that is best. That is the best outfit that you could have in your wardrobe. Which one? لِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى. Now what does it mean by لِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى? لِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى has been understood in two ways. First of all, it has been said that لِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى doesn't refer to a tangible, a physical garment. It's not really like, you can't go to a store and you can ask them for لِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى. No. Why? Because it is something intangible. And piety, or taqwa, righteousness, is the clothing of a person's soul. It is the clothing of a person's, you can say, inner being. You wear garments, physical clothes wear, on your physical body. But you should also wear something on your inside. Why? To beautify your inside. If you have to wear something on your body to beautify yourself, don't you have to wear something on the inside to beautify your inside? Of course you do. And that is what? Libasul taqwa. And that is the best garment. That is the best outfit. So what is libasul taqwa? It's the clothing of character, of good character, which adorns the heart. It adorns the heart. And at the same time, it covers the shameful deeds of a person as well. It covers the shameful deeds of a person. For instance, a person has jealousy or hatred in his heart for another, or negative thought about someone. Who inspires it? Shaitan. Okay, that is what? Something evil. Something that should not be displayed. Because if it is displayed, what's going to happen? It's going to show a person's weakness. What does a person need? Just as a person has private parts and he should not expose them, what does he do? He wears clothing. Similarly, a person should have libasul taqwa in his heart, which does not just adorn his heart, but at the same time, what does it do? It also covers his faults. It doesn't let him show his anger. It doesn't let him show his hatred. It doesn't let him act according to his jealousy. It covers it. It doesn't mean that it means you should entertain evil inside. But what it means is you need the libasul taqwa inside to cover the ill that occurs in your heart, that comes into being in your heart. Because this evil is going to continue to come into your heart because you're a human being. Shaitan is always whispering evil to you. But you need something to cover it up. You need something to hide it, to not let you work according to it. And you need something that is going to beautify your inside, that's going to beautify your heart. And what is that? The clothing of piety, which adorns the heart and covers the shameful deeds of the heart as well. And what is libas al-taqwa? What are some of the examples? For example, amal salih, doing good. Similarly, good character, iman, fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, haya, modesty. All of this is what? Libas al-taqwa. That is in the heart. And where is taqwa? At-taqwa hahuna, it's in the heart. So, وَلِبَاسَ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. And there are many things that adorn a person's heart, that beautify a person's heart. We learn in Surah Al-Hujurat, ayah number 7, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانَ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. That Allah has made iman very dear to you. You love it. حَبَّبَ. He has made it very dear to you. وَزَيَّنَهُ, and He has beautified it فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ, in your hearts. So what is it that beautifies the heart of a person? Iman. If you need a nice pair of clothes, a nice shirt, nice makeup, nice jewelry to beautify your face, to beautify your body, don't you need something to beautify your heart? Of course you do. Because Allah does not look at your body. What does He look at? He looks at your heart. إِلَى قُلُوبِكُمْ وَأَعْمَالِكُمْ. If you are adorning your faces and your bodies to please people, to become presentable before people, don't you need to adorn your heart in order to make it presentable before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do you walk into a party in your pajamas? No, you don't. With unironed clothes? No. With clothes that are completely out of fashion? No. With clothes that are tearing? No. You never do that. People are so conscious that they will never repeat their clothes. They will wear them once, they will not wear them the second day. They will not. They're so conscious about their tangible clothes. Similarly, people are so careful about going outside, even if they're just going for groceries. They will make sure their hair looks proper, their hijab matches their abaya, etc., etc. So particular. Why? Because we have to be presentable before people. What about the haqq of Allah? Should you not adorn your heart so that even that is presentable before Allah? Even that is presentable before Allah. So what is the way of adorning your heart? By having hayat in your heart. By having iman in your heart. By having khashya of Allah in your heart. By having khulus, sincerity in your heart. That is what adorns the heart of a person. So Allah says, وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. That is the best. Secondly, it has been said that libas al-taqwa refers to tangible libas. It is the physical libas. And what is that physical libas? It is that libas which fulfills the conditions of taqwa. Which when a person is wearing, you can tell that this person has fear of God in his heart. Which is why he's dressed up in this way. It's such clothing which shows that a person has fear of Allah in his heart. That a person is careful, is concerned about his akhirah. And what is that clothing? What is that garment? Is it a particular kind of clothing? What is it? It is that which fulfills the conditions of libas. As we discussed earlier, that it's not too short, it's not too scanty. At the same time, it's not transparent. Similarly, it is not too tight. Generally, what do we follow when it comes to wearing clothes? The trends of the society, the fashion. This is in, this is not in. Everybody's doing it. And without even thinking twice, what do? We follow the ways of people. Just because everybody's wearing extremely tight pants, I'm going to do that too. It's in. How can I not wear that? Loose pants are completely out of fashion. You don't wear those anymore. You're not supposed to. And if somebody's wearing them, they're looked down. But what do we learn? A libas that fulfills the proper conditions, that shows that a person has taqwa of Allah. That shows that he has fear of Allah. Many times people said, don't judge me by my appearance. But the fact is, however you dress up, however you appear before people, that is how you're going to be judged. Some have said that libas al-taqwa is such libas which when a person wears, he refrains from kibr. He refrains from arrogance. He does not become arrogant, rather, he increases in his taqwa. Sometimes what happens? A person is wearing clothes. Very nice clothes. Yes, they fulfill all the conditions. But they're so beautiful. They're so unique. Very rare. Hardly anybody has them. And you're the only person who has that particular style, in that color, in that material. So when a person is wearing such clothes, then what happens? Immediately in his heart, he begins to feel proud of himself. This is contrary to libas al-taqwa. Libas al-taqwa is that which when a person wears, he does not have any kibr, any riya. He's not showing off. He's not looking down on people. And remember that everybody has choice with regards to whatever they want to wear, in the sense that whatever color they choose for themselves, whatever style they choose for themselves, whatever material they choose for themselves. Generally what happens? We wear something unique and we say, oh, look at this person. She's still wearing that design which came out like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Look at the color combination. The lace doesn't match the shirt at all. The material is just weird. She doesn't have any sense of style. She doesn't have any sense of matching. Her shoes don't go with her clothes, and her hijab doesn't match with her clothes, and it just doesn't fit. Who are you to pass comments on people? It's her choice. It's his choice. It's their choice. Whatever color they want to wear, whatever style they want to wear, you are no one to comment on somebody's clothes. So libas al-taqwa is what? Such libas which when a person wears, he does not become arrogant. He doesn't say, أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهُ. I'm much better than them. I'm wearing the best clothes in this entire room. So what does Allah say? وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى, the clothing of taqwa, ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. That is much better. Meaning, don't just wear clothes to beautify yourself, to adorn yourself. That's not the only objective. The objective is that whatever you're wearing, it increases you in your piety. It increases you in your obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If a person is wearing such clothes which are so tight, which are so short, that they cannot do sujood properly, they cannot do ruku' properly, and if they go down into sujood, their back shows. Is that appropriate? Is that going to increase them in taqwa? No. Or when they go down to sujood, their legs are showing. Is that going to increase them in taqwa? No. Libas al-taqwa is that which increases a person in his taqwa, increases him in his obedience to Allah. ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ. That is of the signs of Allah. What is of the signs of Allah? The fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you the command to wear libas. Or the fact that He has given you the resources, the means through which you can make your libas, through which you can wear libas. It's of the signs of Allah. Meaning, it shows how kind Allah is towards you. How gracious He is towards you. That He has kept so much variety in your clothes. Just imagine, for example, a bird. She's given one set of wings, one color. Can she change them? No. But you love pink one particular season. You get bored of it. You want to wear blue now. One day you wear pink, another day you wear green, another day you wear orange. You have the choice. Doesn't that show the mercy of Allah? The graciousness of Allah? ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ. It is of the signs of Allah, of His favors upon His creatures. If He wanted, He could have given you a permanent dress. But He didn't. And if such was the case that people didn't need to wear clothes, that their bodies were such that concealed their private parts, that concealed their bodies, like for example lions, they have fur, they have hair. All animals, they have something or the other on their bodies. If people were also made like this, would there be any fashion industry? Would there be any clothing industry? No. Would there be any business? Would there be any tailors? Would there be any fashion designers? No. Nothing. So isn't this of the mercy of Allah? The fact that human beings have to wear clothes, so much goes around in the earth because of that reason. So many people have work. So many people get to use their minds. We see over here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا, we have sent down to you the command of wearing clothes, and also the conditions as to what conditions your clothing should fulfill. And if a person does not follow these conditions, then he is going to harm himself. He is going to be a source of temptation for others. He is going to make life difficult for others as well. So ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ, perhaps they would remember. Meaning, so that they would remember, they would take heed, and they would implement. Implement what? Appropriate clothing in their lives. This is from the tactics of shaitan, that he makes nakedness so beautiful to people that they try their best to make their clothes short and tight and transparent, to reveal their body, to expose their body, go to such places where they don't have to wear clothes or minimum clothes are even accepted. This is from the tactics of shaitan. Just as every command that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, it is a test for us. If we do it properly, it's an act of obedience. If we don't, then it's an act of disobedience. Similarly, clothing as well. If we clothe according to how Allah wants us to clothe ourselves, that is an act of worship. That is an act of worship. It is libas al-taqwa. It will increase you in your taqwa. And on the other hand, at the same time, clothing can also be a means of disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, going farther away from Allah. And it's a test that we go through every day, every single day. Every time you have to wear something, it's a test. So, what are some of the main things that we learn from this ayah? First of all, we learn that there are two objectives of clothing, where the first is essential and the second is complementary. What is the first objective? That it covers the awrah. It covers the body. What's the second objective? That it is beauty and it is adornment. Now, when it comes to men and women, both of them, they should wear such clothes that don't just cover their body, but it also beautifies them. Sometimes we go to an extreme. We commit israf in trying to get the most beautiful clothes, or in trying to get rishan. We go to another extreme. But remember that moderation is something that is very important. It's something very important. Staying away from excessiveness. And remember that for a woman, when she adorns herself, when she beautifies herself with nice clothes, it is not unlawful for her to do so. In fact, it is recommended. It is something that a woman should do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put this nature inside of a woman that she wants to dress up, she wants to look good, she wants to wear nice clothes. It's something inside of a woman, and she should do it. However, what's a simple rule? That she should not display her beauty, her adornment before who? Before non-mahram men. That's a simple rule. Because sometimes people go to an extreme. They think that zina, wearing beauty, is something that is not correct for women. That's not the case. Remember that. Wearing zina is correct for women. In fact, it is something encouraged. However, displaying that zina before non-mahram men is something that is not correct. So, for example, if a woman is wearing nice clothes, of course she should. But as soon as there is a non-mahram, what should she do? Cover herself. Simple. We learned in Surah Al-Nur, ayah number 31, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يُبْدِينَ زِينَتَهُنَّ إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا. And they should not expose their adornment except that which appears by itself. So they should not expose their adornment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not say they should not wear adornment. What does He say? They should not expose their adornment. So wear it, but don't expose it to non-mahram. So the simple rule is the clothing that she wears at home, she should not wear it outside, in the sense that she should wear something on top in order to conceal that. Another very important lesson that we learn from this ayah is about the importance of wearing such clothes that beautify a person. Now yes, this varies from person to person. Every person's taste is different. However, a person should try his best to choose something that is nice, that is lively, that looks good on him, that looks good on her. Why? Because we look at one another. People look at one another. And if a person is not wearing something beautiful, something nice, it could be a burden for other people to look at. Similarly, if it's too bright, if it's too fluorescent, then even that is a source of discomfort for other people. So, wear something that is nice. Nice does not mean go to another extreme in niceness. Okay? Be balanced, be moderate. And especially when it comes to wearing good clothes before one's husband or before one's wife. This is something very important. Abdullah ibn Abbas, he would explain the ayah, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, Surah Baqarah, ayah 228, that due to the wives is similar to what is expected of them, according to what is reasonable. He would teach this ayah and he would dress up nicely before his wife. It is said that before going home, he would perform wudu, he would put on some fragrance, and then he would go home. What do? When we're going out, then we shower. Then we wear some nice clothes. Then we fix our hair. Then we fix ourselves, and then we go out. As soon as we come back home, we change into our pajamas, into such clothes that are not even ironed, such clothes that don't look nice at all. But imagine Abdullah ibn Abbas, as a man, he would dress up nicely for his wife. Why? Because it's the haqq of the wife. Similarly, it's the haqq of the husband, that when he comes home, his wife is not going around in her pajamas or in clothes that don't look good on her, but rather she should wear nice clothes. Especially if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. When Allah gives a blessing to someone, He likes it when the person is using it and He displays it. Similarly, we also learn from this ayat that it's not the apparent clothing that gives honor to person, but it actually is taqwa that raises the rank of a person in the sight of Allah. It's not the apparent clothing. Sometimes our whole focus is on getting the best clothes. We will spend so much time, so much money, so much effort in getting the most latest and the most perfect and such clothes. Why? Because what does it show? If you're wearing nice clothes, then you're impressive. But what is it that really honors a person? Is it his nice clothes and very bad akhlaq? A very sharp tongue? No. What is it that adorns a person? His taqwa. So yes, our focus should be on wearing nice clothes. But at the same time, our focus should be on adorning our hearts, cleaning our hearts, beautifying our hearts. This is what we should do. And there are particular etiquettes as well of wearing clothes. I will just quickly go over that. For example, when a person is wearing their clothes, how should they begin? With their right side. And when they're taking off their clothes, then left side. And on wearing new clothes, what should you say? Nothing. Just look at yourself in the mirror and looks nice. Ask everybody, does it look okay? Is that what we should do? There's a dua, masnoon dua. And there are many du'as that we find the Prophet ﷺ used to regularly supplicate. For instance, Alhamdulillahi alladhi kasani ma uwari bihi awrati wa atajammalu bihi fi hayati. That all praise belongs to Allah who adorned me with clothing by which I cover my private areas and by which I obtain etiquettes of dressing oneself, which I highly recommend that you should read. Minhaj al-Muslim, if you mark down the page number, it's 200. 167. We learned all of this in Sunday school and Islamic school, but it is something very important and we should remind ourselves with it regularly. There's another dua as well in which the Prophet ﷺ would say, especially upon wearing new clothes, that Allahumma lakal hamdu anta kasawtanihi as'aluka khayrahu. Take it in your closet so that every time you choose your clothes, or on your mirror or something, so that every time you wear your clothes and you look at yourself, don't just feel proud in your heart, but rather thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it. Because when a person is grateful, then Allah increases the blessings.